Yo, what's up, guys? It's Nicholas Hilton, and today we're going to be reviewing my SpongeBob SquarePants SpongeBob Royale book, which includes 2 books in 1 book. So here's the front, the spine, and the back. Hear ye, SpongeBob is going to another time in these 2 royal adventures. In Lost in Time, SpongeBob and Patrick transport to medieval times and get mistaken for great knights. In SpongeBob and the Princess, SpongeBob thinks that a princess is coming to the Krusty Krab, but when she doesn't appear, SpongeBob must think fast. Where will he find one on such short notice? Find out what happens in these fun blasts from the past. And it's also created by Steven Hillenburg, and this is published by Simon Spotlight and Nickelodeon. And there's other books right here you can find, but they're mostly at the store. So anyways, let's start reading. SpongeBob Royale. SpongeBob and the Princess. At the Krusty Krab, SpongeBob was happily pushing a mop across the floor. "I'm mopping that crusty floor," he sang to himself. "SpongeBob," yelled Mr. Krabs. "I'm going to count me beautiful money," said Mr. Krabs. "So no visitors. Got that?" "Aye, aye, Mr. Krabs," said SpongeBob, just as a loud truck pulled up outside. Honk, honk. "Welcome to the outside of the Krusty Krab. May I help you?" SpongeBob shouted to the driver, trying to make himself heard over the noise of the truck. "Where's Mr. Krabs?" the driver asked. "Counting his money, so he's not to be disturbed," answered SpongeBob. "Maybe I can help you." "What?" yelled the driver. SpongeBob cupped his hands to his mouth. "Maybe I can help you." "Tell Mr. Krabs that Princess Napkins will be here tomorrow," said the driver. "What?" yelled SpongeBob. "Princess Delivery will be here tomorrow," the driver shouted back. "Got it," said SpongeBob, giving a big thumbs up. The driver drove off. "Hoppin' clams," said SpongeBob. "Wait till Squidward hears this." SpongeBob burst into the Krusty Krab. "Guess what, Squidward? A princess will be here tomorrow." Squidward didn't look up. "What princess could be caught dead in this dump?" he asked gloomily. But then he brightened, unless it's Princess Neptuna. "He doesn't seem likely. But for once, SpongeBob, I believe you. I love royalty. They're so royal," SpongeBob grinned. "I can't wait to tell Patrick and Sandy and Mrs. Puff." And Squidward shook his head. No, don't tell anyone. Royal people love their privacy." Squidward figured he had a much better chance of getting Princess Neptuna's autograph if no one else was around. "Really?" said SpongeBob, puzzled. "I thought princesses loved crowds," Squidward sniffed. "You commoner. You know nothing about royalty." SpongeBob thought hard. "Well, I have to tell Mr. Krabs." "No," yelled Squidward. "He'll ruin everything." "But Squidward," said SpongeBob, "it's my duty as a Krusty Krab employee." Squidward puts his arm around SpongeBob. "Listen, SpongeBob," he said. "Would you like me to teach you how to behave around royalty?" SpongeBob's eyes grew big. "You teach me, Squidward." "Of course," said Squidward, smiling. "Tonight?" asked SpongeBob, his eyes growing even bigger. Okay," said Squidward. "At your house?" SpongeBob's eyes were huge. "With snacks?" Squidward swallowed hard. "Sure, SpongeBob." I'm inviting you to my house for royalty lessons and snacks. Hooray! SpongeBob shouted. I'll be there, and tomorrow the princess will be here. In his office, Mr. Krabs heard SpongeBob shouting, "Better see what me employees are up to," he said, hurrying over to the picture on the wall. He lifted it and peered through the peephole just in time to hear SpongeBob say, "Tomorrow the princess will be here." "Princess?" whispered Mr. Krabs. "Princesses are rich, and people love to see 'em. People who could be my paying customers. All I have to do is let everybody know a princess is coming to the Krusty Krab tomorrow." That night, Squidward tried to teach SpongeBob how to act properly around a princess. "No, no, SpongeBob," he scolded. "Never giggle when you bow to Princess Neptuna." "But Squidward," said SpongeBob, "I can't help it. Patrick looks kinda funny." Patrick adjusts his crown. "Gee, thanks a lot, SpongeBob," he said. "I think I look beautiful." Meanwhile, Mr. Krabs was busy putting up signs all over Bikini Bottom announcing Princess Neptuna's arrival at the Krusty Krab. He chuckled to himself. "This ought to bring in the customers," he said, "and their money." As SpongeBob approached the Krusty Krab the next morning, he saw almost of the Bikini Bottom waiting outside. "Gee," he said, "there sure are a lot of people hungry for delicious Krabby Patties today." Just then, Squidward showed up. "Oh no," he cried, "they must have been here to see Princess Neptuna." He angrily turned to SpongeBob. "You blabbed to everyone about the princess." "No, Squidward," answered SpongeBob. "It was over at your house, remember?" Squidward scrunched up his face in confusion. "Then how did they all find out?" "Right this way!" barked Mr. Krabs. "This way to see the princess! Customers with money only!" The truck from the day before pulled up. An eager SpongeBob ran over. "When will the princess be here?" he whispered. The driver scratched his head and gave SpongeBob a blank look. "Yesterday, you told me to tell Mr. Krabs. A princess will be there tomorrow," explained SpongeBob. The driver stared at SpongeBob and then started laughing. "I said the princess delivery will be here tomorrow. You know, Princess Napkins." SpongeBob's mouth dropped open. "You mean Princess Neptuna isn't coming?" "Nope," the driver replied, unloading several boxes onto the ground. "But here are your napkins. See ya!" SpongeBob stared at the boxes. "What good are napkins when I promise everyone a princess?" he thought aloud. SpongeBob spotted Patrick walking by. "Patrick," he said, "am I glad to see you? I need you to dress up as the princess again to fool that big crowd of customers." Patrick shook his head. "No way, SpongeBob. Last night you said I looked funny." "Yeah, but," said SpongeBob, sputtering. "No buts about it," said Patrick, stubbornly. "I'm not going to look ridiculous in front of all those people." And he put on his beanie propeller hat and turned to walk away. "But Patrick," SpongeBob begged, "who am I going to get to be the princess?" "Hello, loyal subjects from the Bikini Bottom," SpongeBob called to the crowd. "I am your princess." Everyone turned and stared at SpongeBob. "That's Princess Neptuna?" someone shouted. "Of course I am," squeaked SpongeBob. "Well, it's sure been great to see you, and now, if you'll excuse me—" "That's not Princess Neptuna!" said the guy with a very loud voice. That's just some guy dressed up in a princess costume, the crowd murmured angrily. Get him! They yelled. Everyone started to rush towards SpongeBob. Before the crowd reached SpongeBob, a magnificent boat pulled up. The door opened, and a princess climbed out. Hello, everyone, she said, smiling and waving. I'm Princess Neptuna. SpongeBob hoped he could remember the royalty lessons Squidward had given him. He bowed several times and got down on one knee, taking her hand in his. SpongeBob said, Hello, Princess Neptuna. What brings you to our humble establishment? The Krusty Krab? Well, she answered, I saw the crowd, so I stopped to see what was going on. I just love crowds. Princess Neptuna signed autographs for everyone, including Squidward. She even tried a Krabby Patty. This Krabby Patty is a delicious morsel, SpongeBob, she said. But it's a little messy. SpongeBob brought over a box. How would you like your very own box of princess napkins? He asked. The princess smiled. You sure know how to treat a princess, SpongeBob. Next story. Lost in Time. SpongeBob and Patrick hurried through Bikini Bottom to get to Medieval Moments restaurant. Come on, Patrick. It's almost time for the joust, said SpongeBob. The two friends stood before the entrance. A booming voice played over the castle's speakers. You're just 20 wizards' paces away from swords, sorcery, and bad hygiene. The restaurant's stadium was packed with a cheering audience. The medieval king cleared his throat and spoke into the microphone. By royal decree, I ask that 2 people come forth for the royal joust. SpongeBob and Patrick waved their hands wildly. Over here, pick us, they cried. The king called them into the arena. I can't believe we'll be watching the royal joust from so close up, SpongeBob said. You are not watching the joust, an attendant remarked. You are in the joust. SpongeBob and Patrick nervously climbed onto their seahorses. Mr. Seahorser, you're gentle and beginners, aren't you? SpongeBob whispered. Suddenly, both seahorses bucked up into the air. SpongeBob, help! Yelled Patrick. The boys flew off the seahorses and crashed through the wall. Ploop! SpongeBob and Patrick hit the ground. Look, Patrick, said SpongeBob. An army of knights was charging toward them. Some employees from the restaurant are coming to help us. Arrest them for committing an act of witchcraft by falling from the sky, ordered one of the knights. Taketh them to jail. Wow, they really go the extra mile here, SpongeBob said. In the royal dungeon, SpongeBob and Patrick heard a familiar sound. It was bad clarinet playing. Squidward? What are you doing here? Asked SpongeBob. My name is Squidly, said the prisoner. I was the royal fool until I told a bad joke and the king locked me up. We really are in medieval times, said SpongeBob. We must have gone back to the past. Suddenly, they felt a rumble in the dungeon. That is the evil wizard's dragon sent to destroy the king's village, explained Squidly. Then a guard came and took them all to King Krabs. Mr. Krabs? Asked SpongeBob. I am the feared ruler of this kingdom, said the king. I know you have been sent by Plankton Namor to destroy me. It is time for your punishment. Off with their heads. Ah! Cried SpongeBob and Patrick. Wait, father, spare them, the king's daughter Princess Pearl begged. "Hast thou forgotten the famous prophecy?" "What prophecy?" asked King Krabs. Pearl told the story about how two brave knights were supposed to fall from the sky and slay the dragon of Plankton Amor. The evil one-eyed wizard, "Don't you see? These strangers have been sent to rescue us," Pearl cried. Suddenly, a huge jellyfish dragon crashed through the castle and grabbed Princess Pearl. "Help me, father!" screamed Princess Pearl. "Let go of her, you overgrown amoeba!" shouted King Krabs. "The evil Plankton Amor's dragon has taken Pearl," cried King Krabs. "And he won't return her until I give him my kingdom." "Bummer," said Patrick. "You two brave knights have been chosen to rescue Princess Pearl," ordered King Krabs. "We're ready, your majesty," said SpongeBob. "And take my fool Squidly with you," added the king. The trio first stopped at the local blacksmith to get proper armor for the trip. "We have a long journey ahead of us," said Squidly. SpongeBob reached inside his pocket and pulled out a brown bag. "I always carry some delicious Krabby Patties with me," said SpongeBob. "After we rescue the princess, we'll have a snack." "Ooh," said Patrick. Soon SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidly came face to face with the fearsome Dark Knight who guarded the bridge to Plankton Amor's castle. "None shall pass," the Dark Knight boomed. "But we have to pass, oh scary knight who looks a lot like my friend Sandy," said SpongeBob. "The king has sent us to rescue the fair Princess Pearl from the evil Plankton Amor." "Thou will have to get past me first," said the Dark Knight. "Hi-ya!" shouted SpongeBob as he karate chopped her weapon in half. "What is this strange new fighting technique?" asked the Dark Knight. "It's called karate," said SpongeBob. "It pleases me," said the Dark Knight. The two fought in a series of karate battles, and SpongeBob won. "Since you have bested me in battle and spared my life, I shall let you all cross, and I shall accompany you on your quest," said the Dark Knight. Meanwhile, in the castle of Plankton Amor, the evil wizard was celebrating his upcoming victory. "Ha ha ha! Soon the king's village will be mine! Mine! Mine!" "That's what you think," said Pearl. "The prophecy will come true. My rescuers will save me." The Dark Knight helped SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidly get past the evil wizard's guards. They climbed up the tower stairs to rescue Princess Pearl. "Hang on, Princess Pearl, we're coming to help you," yelled SpongeBob. "And then we'll eat," added Patrick. SpongeBob was determined to stop Plankton Amor. "Unhand her, you fiend!" he yelled. Plankton Amor laughed. "Why don't you maketh me?" "I shalleth," replied SpongeBob. "Destroyeth them, dragon!" ordered Plankton Amor. The giant jellyfish dragon swooped around the castle, zapping the intruders. "I'm afraid this is the end, Patrick," SpongeBob said, sobbing. "But I want my Krabby Patty," cried Patrick. "Good idea," said SpongeBob, pulling them out. Just as Patrick was about to take a bite, the dragon took the food with its tentacle. "Look, the dragon's eating the Krabby Patty!" exclaimed SpongeBob. Yelled Plankton Amor. "What part of destroyeth dost thou not understand?" The giant dragon ignored its master and happily kept munching away. "We defeated the dragon!" shouted SpongeBob. "Curses!" said Plankton Amor, foiled by a Krabby Patty. "King Krabs threw a royal parade for the new heroes. For your reward, brave knights, I shall give you my 2 prize seahorses, said King Krabs. SpongeBob and Patrick got on the seahorses and began to ride. Suddenly, the horses lost control, and SpongeBob and Patrick were bucked up into the sky. "Hey, wake up, you guys," said the medieval moments waiter. "You fell on your heads and got knocked out." "Wow, Pat," said SpongeBob. "That was some dream. So we can eat now?" asked Patrick. The end. I'd say this is a good Royal book. I love this book. It's my favorite book. It's my favorite book from the Lucknow Branch. So that's all for reading. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications on, follow me on Instagram, and enjoy this video. So that's all. See ya. Bye.